And greetings everybody, and welcome to another JeSter Reviews. And today it's a very special day because I finally picked up my 10th anniversary event ship, which is the Alliance Battle Cruiser. And doesn't she look the part? Yes, she's clearly a hybrid of Federation and Klingon technology. As you can see, we have the Federation saucer at the front, and we have the Klingon designed nacelles at the back in this typical drop down design, which I've seen in so many Klingon ships. Well, the Next Generation and the original Star Trek ships anyway. The Discovery Klingon ships are they're unique, aren't they? Unique design. But as you can see, she's a very well designed ship, but she does have a flaw. And as always, you have a really nice design ship on the outside, but on the inside, that's a different question. So let's go and have a look at the bridge. I'll see you in a bit. And here we are on the bridge of the Alliance Battle Cruiser. And I am extremely disappointed. For a ship that's such well designed outside, the inside is shocking. I mean, look at this screen. You see? Terribly designed. Here we have the bank. I think this is duty officers. And what's this one? Small craft. Is it? No, it's not. Oh, that's the duty officers. And what's this one? Library files. So all in all, I am rather disappointed. I was expecting a lot more from this bridge, and you can't even get off. There you go. So I normally like to keep these reviews quite light-hearted, but I am extremely disappointed with this. For a 10th anniversary ship, I was expecting more. Right. So let's see how she's put together, shall we? So this is a 5 weapons to the front, 3 weapons to the rear. I'm running advanced fleet anti-proton beams at the front, 3 of them, and this is the advanced radiant anti-proton beam, and this is part of a set. Now for some reason I haven't put the set on, but never mind, let's move on. The deflector, the impulse engines, the warp core and the shields, these are the Discovery 15 Epic. In the rear I have an omnidirectional anti-proton support beam. That is also part of a set, but I'm only running one part of that set. Another advanced fleet anti-proton beam and another omnidirectional anti-proton beam. Devices, red matter capacitor, beacon KLS and weapons battery. In the engineering consoles, I'm running the Universal Dynamic Power Redistributor module. As always, 11.3 all damage resistance and 90% directed energy damage. Now then, I've also picked up another console from our K13 fleet base and fleet station rather, and that's the Engineering Xenotech Resilience module. I thought I'd give this a try. This gives me a 16.7 all damage resistance rating and a 37.5 Starship shield hardness. Reduced damage taken by shields grants a 5% reduction to Specialist Bridge Officer ability on recharge times. I'm running the Trillium D plating, which is 17.5 all damage resistance rating, 26.2 Starship hull capacity, 17.5 maximum shield capacity, and 7.5 of my auxiliary power to shields power as a bonus power. And this is the second new console that I've picked up, also from the K13 station. And this is the Engineering Xenotech Drift module, Mark 15, ultra rare. And this is 37.5 Starship shield hardness, reduces damage taken by shields, grants a 5% reduction to Specialist Bridge Officer ability, recharge times, 33.4 flight turn rate. So I thought I'd give that a go. That's another new console I thought I'd try out. This is the assimilated module Mark 15, which is giving me a 1.2 critical chance and a 12.1 critical severity. Plasmonic leech, tachyokinetic converter, which is giving me a 39.4 flight turn rate, 29.5 Starship shield control expertise, 1.3 critical chance and a 13.1 critical severity. The tactical console, universal aligned anti-proton shielding, 17.1 anti-proton damage, 17.1 Starship shield capacity. So we are building up some shield resistance here, aren't we? Incoming damage buffs, weapon haste and shields for 20 seconds. That's plus 25% energy weapon. Plus 0.25 energy weapon firing haste, plus 0.25 shield capacity and regeneration. Effect scale with number of times shot during duration. That wasn't easy to say, was it? During duration. Wasn't that a band in the 80s? During duration. Anyway, moving on. This is another new console I put on, Universal Polymorphic Probe Array. And this gives us another 25% anti-proton damage and a plus 20 Starship shield control expertise. Polymorphic viral probes. Launch 3 level 65 polymorphic viral probes for 30 seconds. While active, probes use viral matrix overload as on nearby targets. Disable subsystems for 6 seconds. After 10 seconds, 2798.2 anti-proton damage. Ignore shields for 2 minutes. That's quite cool. The Bio-Neural Infusion Circuits Mark 15 Epic. And again, that's giving me a 29.5 Starship hull capacity and a 29.5 Starship control expertise, as well as giving me 26.2% critical severity. The 0-point energy conduit, 2.5 power to all systems, 25.9 Starship drain expertise, improves energy and shield drains resistance to same, 2.4 critical chance. So as you see, we are getting a fair old chunk of shield resistance. And moving on to the masteries. As you can see, I've cleared 4 of them already. And the tier 1 is 25% physical damage resistance rating, 25% kinetic damage resistance rating. Tier 2, increased critical severity, 15% critical severity. Tier 3, 25% energy damage resistance rating, 25, so it's not 25%, sorry, it's plus 25 energy damage rating, 25 plus 25 radiation damage resistance rating. Tier 4, increased maximum hull hit points, plus 10%, and when we hit this tier 5, this is a 0.15% bonus all damage, currently 0%, scales with missing shields. When you defeat a foe, restores 25% of shields, max once per 5 seconds. So there you go. So we're getting a fair old bonus here on the shields. I haven't been adding it all together, to be honest with you. So we get 500% hull regeneration. That's cool. We get 37.5 shield hardness, another 26.2 hull capacity, and 17.5 maximum shield capacity. This is giving us another 37.5 shield hardness, 5% reduction. Oh, okay, that's shield hardness. What's this giving us? No, that's not giving us anything. Shield capacity regeneration 0.25%, 17.1 starship shield capacity. Wow. I mean, I haven't added all those bits together, but I'm sure they're all... What's that one? Oh. Right, well, okay. Now, as you can see, my bridge is a little Spartan, and although when I began, I did say I didn't want to make this light art because I was very disappointed about the bridge, but actually, I've changed my mind. So, hello crew member. Now then, if you remember, I think you took yourself away on a party yesterday and left my bridge in a right mess. How are you feeling today after the battle drills all night? Nothing to say? Oh dear. Well, you're better than number one anyway, because she ain't shown up for work. She's actually poorly today. Yeah, hangover, I reckon. Yes, crewman, how are you doing? You're the only one on the bridge who was actually here yesterday. So, yes. It's Saturday and Sunday this weekend, isn't it? Take Sunday off. Right, moving on around here. Hello, Romulan person. How are you? Yes, thank you for throwing your colleagues under the bus yesterday. Telling me that they all went off. Yes. Well, I won't tell them you told me. But thank you for telling tales on them. Right, so as you can see, the bridge is a little Spartan. Most of the crew are off. They've all come down with a strange illness, would you believe? Yes. Too much Romulan ale, if I know my crew. Right, so let's go outside and see what she can do. See you in a bit. Right, just before we shoot off, I thought we'd just take a look at some of the stats. And here we are. So the hull on this ship is 123,864. Shield regeneration is 1,525.5. Hull repair rate is 325.3. The resistance ratings are quite impressive actually. This is the highest that I've ever managed to get them. And I'm always susceptible to radiation problems, but even though there's a little dip to 41.8, I think that's the highest I've ever had them. So I'm quite pleased with that. Accuracy rating 17.5. I have still got to do some research on that. I would like to know what a reasonable accuracy rating score is. So if any of you know that, let me know, because I'm eager to understand that myself. Critical chance is 23%, which is above my 20%, which I always aim for, and the critical severity is 181.2%. The inertia is 40, flight speed 28.54 with a turn rate of 5.9 degrees a second. Okay, so as you know, I don't want to get too wrapped up in all the statistical information because I actually play Star Trek Online for the enjoyment of the game, and I don't like getting wrapped up in too much complexities of weapons and one thing or another. However, there are plenty of YouTube channels out there that are actually doing that, and I don't want to imitate them. I want to portray ships and Star Trek Online for the enjoyment of the game rather than go into all the details. Anyhow, let's take her into battle and let's see how she performs. So I shall see you shortly. So, defense of Starbase 1.
Here they come.
This is actually one of my favourite ones. So here we go. Let's get stuck in. Oops.
We're prepping for evac of non-essential personnel and civilians.
Wow, that was quite impressive, wasn't it? I actually forgot to cover the torpedo in my introduction to how the build is. I'll very quickly touch upon that for you. There it is. It's the crystalline energy torpedo, and it gives an anti-proton damage of 8,782.7 and a DPS of damage per second of 798. Now whether that's accurate, because we're actually in battle at the moment, I don't know. I think it is. Normally it's in sector space when you get all these statistics, just outside the Sol station, so I will have to check that again later. But yes, it's the crystalline anti-proton torpedo, which I'm trying to keep in line with the anti-proton type of build. Oh, we have another anniversary ship there, which is doing equally well. I am actually going to try this console when I get enough people in front of me, or enough enemy ships in front of me rather. Let's give it a spin, see what it does. Ah, well, it did something. I don't know what it did. Right, let's have another go. Ah, well, that was quick. If I blinked then and missed it. Dear me, I shall have to try that again. Yeah, the turn rate's killing me.
There's a break in incoming warp signatures. We may have a short amount of time before more arrive.
Before more arrive? I'm trying to figure out what accent that is. I don't know whether it's...
Reading some heavier ships incoming.
It's certainly not a British accent, is it? Sounds more like a Australian type of language. Or an Australian trying to be British? I have no idea. It doesn't sound genuine. We never even scratched there then, did we? My word. Let's hit a weapons battery and see what happens. Yeah, I mean, not even... I don't think these anti-proton weapons are very effective. I'm quite surprised actually. Now, whether that's because I've neglected to put them in sets, it probably is. So I'll have to have a look at that and see if I've made a mistake there. In my eagerness to rush this review out, I've probably not done the best build. Yes, that one took some punishment, and it took a lot to kill that. What is that? Devastating anti-proton damage. I don't know what on earth that does. Ah, well that was an interesting weapon. Ah.
An evacuation ship is launching. Give them cover.
Well, I'm impressed that the hull and the shields have held out. Obviously all those shield buffs are working.
The Klingons are regrouping again. Get into position to prepare for the next assault.
But I can't help but think we've lost out in the weapons damage arena.
Warning, ship is under attack.
Here come the Klingon battleships. Keep fighting.
These battleships may take a little bit more punishment.
An evacuation ship is launching. Give them cover.
Wow, that was quite an effective explosion, wasn't it? There we go. We seem to be dealing effective damage now, don't we? Ooh, yes. I'm wondering if we've actually leveled up on the masteries. Having said that, though, the fifth mastery hasn't been locked in, so even if we have hit that, it don't think it would make a difference. So I haven't selected it. Yeah, those birds of prey don't stand up to the anti-proton damage very well, do they? Oof. Had a couple of walk core breaches, they never even touched us. So the shield resistance is excellent, and the hull resistance looks quite impressive. Now we're doing the damage, look at this. Considering we were struggling against the littler ships, but now well, something's definitely happened. We seem to be doing some damage here. There we go.
That'll hold them off for now.
Held them off.
Don't know how much longer we can keep up with this kind of war. Today was a good one.
Yes, well, I'm sure we'll do well next time. Right. Oh, somebody's giving us help with the Kobayashi Maru. So here we are. This is the Alliance battle cruiser. What do I think? Well, I think she's a wonderful design. I really like the design of this ship, and I'm going to be flying her for a long time. The disappointing aspect of this anniversary ship is the bridge. It would have been nice to have had a unique bridge for this ship. Given it's a 10th anniversary ship, I would have expected something rather special. Unfortunately, I think Cryptic have let themselves down and missed out on a really important part of this ship build. The outside design is superb. It is a thing of perfection. But it is just a shame that the bridge is a disaster. It really is a disaster. And I am quite disappointed with Cryptic that they haven't taken care with the bridge. It would have been really nice to have had a specialist bridge. And the bit that really upsets me is I couldn't even put another bridge on it. You're not given the opportunity to change bridges, because I would have put a decent bridge on that. I would have bought one and put one on. But you can't even do that. So I am rather disappointed. But as I say, I quite like flying her. And until next time, this is JeSter signing off.